welcome to Connected by Games.
Today, we'll be showing you how you can win at Splendor.
Okay, so I know it seems obvious that you need 15 victory points to win the game, but just know that that doesn't mean collecting as many cards as you can. So getting those level 1 cards with 0 points are going to help you get those higher up cards, but at the same time, if your opponent is going for this level 2 or the level 3 cards, you're going to fall behind very quickly. You might be able to grab some nobles along the way, but if you don't have any points down in your dashboard, then you're not really going to be able to do much about it.
Yeah, looking into some research of the game, an average game takes about 28 turns. So if you're taking about 33, 32 turns to win the game, you're taking a little bit too long. So really try to refine down your strategy to make sure that you can win as quick as possible.
Yes. Okay, so next we're going to look at the correlation of the colors of the gems. So you won't need to be able to look at the cards that are laid out in front, so all the level 1, 2, and 3 cards, and kind of see and read what kind of cards are out there. So there's going to be cards that are costing different colors, and kind of reading what colors are out there the most. Another thing that you're going to need to do is be able to adapt your strategy to whatever is getting handed to you and whatever your opponent is doing as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of luck in this game based off on what's flipping up and what your opponent's really doing and reserving. You can't really control all the aspects of this game. So we're just going to go over some basic strategies. We come up with 3 basic strategies based off this color concept that we talked about. But it's really up to you to master this game of when to pivot, when to choose which strategy to use. All right, the first strategy that we're going to talk about is the green-blue strategy. This is probably my favorite strategy. I probably do this one the most. If you watched our playthrough, this is the one I tried doing. Wasn't super successful, but the reason why I like this one so much is because it's really fast. If you're using the strategy correctly, you can get up to those 15 points super quickly and just leave your opponent in the dust.
Especially if the right cards are coming up, that's when it can go like rapid fire.
Exactly. And so this strategy is probably the most powerful strategy, but because there's so many cards that are so little cards that you can choose from for this strategy, it's very easy for your opponent to defend you if you decide to use this. So be very careful.
Here are the cards you should be targeting with the green-blue strategy. When using this strategy, don't be afraid to reserve these cards. If you're doing it correctly, you will have turns to spare. Plus, you will get a wild token to spend on the card as well. This strategy is very powerful if you see at least one of the level 2 and 1 level 3 cards starting on the board. Our second strategy that we have is the red, brown, white strategy. So this is basically the same thing as the blue and green strategy that Aaron had just talked about, but this one is a little bit less effective, and we think that's because you have to get more than 2 different colors, but then also it's not correlating very well.
Yeah, it's not as much correlation because, for example, when you're aiming for a green strategy or green-blue strategy, it'll lead you to more green and blue gems, so it'll take less turns to go forward. Whereas this strategy, you might have to use a bunch of brown tokens to get red gems or get white gems from it. So you're not really, there's not as much of a correlation between the gems.
Yeah, and then one thing we did find out with the white gems and the white cards is that they're kind of just sporadic everywhere. So sometimes a blue card might need a lot of white, and it's just kind of, the white is always nice to have. So whether you have cards of it or gems of it, those are always nice to have.
Yeah, it's kind of like a neutral color where you just kind of want some of it.
Yes.
So next we have the red, brown, white strategy. And you can see that the color coordination, you can see a lot of the red and brown, but there are other colors thrown in there, like the green, and there's a blue and white, just randomly thrown in random places. So this is why this one isn't as coordinated as the green-blue strategy, but how it's laid out, the top row right there are the best cards for this strategy. You can see that there's 7 brown, 7 white, or 7 red. And then the second row down there, is kind of like if they're out there, they're good to get. And then for the next 2 rows, those are level 2 cards. You can see the 6 and the 5 cards that cost just a single color. Those are the best cards to look for if you're using this brown, red, white strategy. And then that bottom row right there is kind of secondary. If you see those out there, those are good cards to get as well. Alright, and our third strategy here, we'll call it the noble strategy. And this is kind of like a rainbow strategy where you're just going for every single color. And the difference with this strategy, with the last 2 strategies, is there's not a color coordination you're going for. In the last strategies, they really help you go vertical. They help you go from level 1 to level 2 to level 3. So you're gaining points really quickly, but those strategies are more easily defended. This one, you're really spreading wide and trying to get a bunch of different colors. But the thing is, you're buying a bunch of level 1 cards. So you're not gaining those points really quickly, but it's really hard to defend you. This is what I noticed is Kelly's favorite strategy here. She does this a lot. So you want to explain why you like this one so much?
Yeah, I think I just realized, like, if I'm getting these cards, why not try to get them to match what the nobles are? So if it says it needs 3 greens, I kind of look for, sorry, I cut that off there, but I kind of look for what colors are needed in each of them. So when we just play us 2, there's 3 nobles out, and I see, is there a certain color that's in there 2 or 3 times? And then if there is, then I try to for sure get that color so then I can hopefully just grab one of the other colors as well. So if Aaron sees me going for a certain one, or I see him going for a certain one, I'm just going to say, okay, I'm going to go for this one then, because I already have 3 of this color, and I think it's just nice that during a turn, I can say, I'm going to buy this card, and I get these 3 points with it.
It allows you to remain very flexible with what you want to do, so that's nice.
Yeah, because honestly, with other strategies, you have to just kind of go with it. And like, if people start blocking you, it's like your strategy is kind of toast. But with this strategy, it does take longer. So if someone is being successful with the blue and green strategy, you will lose. But it is very, very flexible. These are the level 1 cards that are the cheapest to buy. And if you're going for a noble strategy, this is definitely a good thing to keep a lookout for.
Yeah, so if you take a look at the top row right there, it's 2 of one color gem and 1 of the other. So that can be really good because they're very cheap, and they're better than the bottom row, which is 3 of the same color, which is definitely more difficult to get. And that middle row right there is 4 of different colors. Even though it's more expensive than 3 of one color, they're definitely easier to get because when you grab 3 of 3 different colors, you are able to grab these a lot sooner.
The final tip of this video is to always be looking 1 step ahead. So I'm going to be honest, this is something that I struggle with when I play board games. I am not very good at looking at what other people are going for or collecting type of a thing. But for some reason in Splendor, it's easier for me to see what people are going for, and I can kind of guess what they're going for.
Yeah, so when you are looking 1 step ahead, especially for beginning board gamers, this is something that you can take onto any game. But Splendor is really easy to see what are your opponents going for, right? You can see what can you afford and what should you be going for next. That's a big part of it as well. Like, if I buy this white gem, what can I use this white gem for? Because it's going to be cheaper, right? I'm going to own this white gem now, so the next thing is going to be cheaper. So really look at that 1 step ahead.
Yeah.
And those are our tips and tricks on how to win Splendor. If you have other strategies that have been working for you that we didn't mention, go ahead and let us know in the comments.
If you liked learning tips and tricks on how to beat your friends at Splendor or maybe some other games, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. We're going to be posting videos Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and hopefully we'll see you there. Well, thanks for watching, and we are Connected by Games.